Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite girl Favor. If this is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, thank you so much for being here. On this YouTube channel, we learn how to turn void materials into a beautiful piece. So please do well to click on the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that you'll be the first person to be notified whenever I post a new video. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your love and support. So guys, today we are going to be learning how to sew this 6 pieces bustier blouse with a back princess dart, and you can see it also has a very full puff sleeve. Now on our previous tutorial, we learned the pattern drafting and cutting of this blouse. So today we are going to be joining these pieces to know how we arrive at this beautiful masterpiece you're seeing here today. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, without wasting much of your time guys, let's head to the tutorial proper. So guys, on our previous tutorial, we learned the pattern drafting of these pieces you're seeing here like so. Okay, so on that tutorial, we learned how to draft this bustier with the back princess dart. In fact, we learned the easiest way of how to draft the back princess dart, right? Okay, so I used that pieces to the pattern that we drafted to cut on the fabric, and I added some inches to it. So I'm going to be leaving the link to that tutorial on the description box below, so please do well to click on that link and then watch the tutorial for you to understand how we arrive at this. Okay, so we'll go straight now to separating this pattern from the main fabric. Okay, so guys, this is what this looks like. Okay, so I went ahead to use interfacing to gum on the main fabric and then as well as on the lining. You can see what this looks like. Now this is a very soft paper stay, all right, and this is really affordable. Now I love to gum this on my main fabric and on my interfacing because it helps the fabric to be strong. It helps it to be firm. Even if you're not working on a pure African print, this helps to add volume to your fabric. So it is important for you to always add stay to soft gum to your cloth. So I'll keep this back pattern aside so that we'll go ahead and work on the front pattern. Okay, so guys, this is what the next thing we're going to do right now is to use this our wadding. This is also known as padded. Now this is the very soft one that I'm going to be using. This is the softest part of it that I'm going to be using. Okay, so I've gone ahead to cut out the quantity that is going to be enough for both my center front and my side front. So this is how we are going to be cutting this wadding for those who does not know how to get the cutting of the wadding. So we're going to place this on top of this wadding like this, and then we use this pattern paper to identify the underbust of this. So we're going to go ahead now and give the underbust here a notch so that we know where our wadding is going to stop. So I'll give this a proper notch. So guys, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to arrange this down properly now and then cut it directly under the bust. Okay, all right, so after cutting it under the bust, we place it properly and then just trace it out. This, can you see the way I'm tracing it out? Just very simple. Now I'll come here, mark 1/2 inch just to allow this knot to be showing on the lining when we finish turning. So this is what it looks like. So we're meant to gum on the shiny face on the fabric, so I'll keep this aside. Now this is the center front, so we're going to come in here by 1.5 inch here, and then from this edge, sharp edge, will come in by 3.5 inches. Okay, now from this 3.5 inches, we'll just give it a curve now to meet the underbust. Now how to identify the underbust is where this your curve started from. All right, so we'll go ahead now and use this particular one to trace it out. So I hope you understand. So this is how to achieve your wadding, how to cut your wadding, your padded for your breast, your bustier. So we'll trim it out properly to meet the exact place where we have it. So this is what it's meant to look like. Can you see what it looks like? So keep this aside now. Now we'll separate the two fabrics from each other. Now you want to place the shiny face on top of the fabric so that it can be able to gum. If it is not facing on the main fabric, it's not going to gum. So you arrange this properly. We'll arrange this properly like so. All right, and then we'll also arrange this now, this other front side. Remember, the shiny face of this wadding is what you're meant to face there. So guys, after attaching it to the main fabric, this is what it looks like, and that is the 1 inch that we came down from. So we're going to pick the side front and then place it together with the center front. So you want to make sure the front side facing front. Now a quick tip when you are attaching your fabrics together, when you are sewing your bustier with a wording, you want to make sure that this wording missed each other like this. Can you see how I placed it like this? Now it does not matter if it does not align with each other from the starting point. Okay, so the most important thing is for you to align with the two wording to align. So we'll take this now and sew on it, and then sew on this one and bring it back. So guys, I'm going to quickly demonstrate to us how to go about the sewing. I made a tutorial the previous time and someone was like, she does not really know how to attach this. I got a lot of requests and all of that. So this is how you place your wording. This is how you place your fabric to sew. Okay, now you can see how I've pinned it down. So when you want to sew gradually, and then when you're sewing, you want to be pulling it to make sure that they are even. All right, now the most important thing is that this wording here, this where my hand is, like the two wording where we join the wording are meeting together. Can you see the way I'm sewing it? Now you want to sew it. So when you come here, you stitch it, and when you're sewing, you're meant to sew by 1/2 inch, and then you turn it over to this side, and then you want to arrange it with your hand, pulling it together. So you also stitch it down here. Now we're going to be gradually sewing on top of it like this. Can you see the way I'm pulling it? You want to be arranging it down as you're sewing it. Okay, so this is really easy to achieve. I had to show this other part without pinning it down so that we understand how to stitch our wording on our bustier. So you want to make sure that you stitch, and then when you get to the end of the word, you want to make sure they both mix together. So this is it. All right, so this is what it looks like. So I'm going to cut this out now and show us. So guys, at this edge, you're meant to notch it, okay, where we started our curve from. So this is what it looks like. Can you see what it looks like? So I will do for the other side now. You want to place it together, the two wording meeting each other. Now you can see that mine is not equal here. It doesn't matter. We're going to be trimming that out. The most important thing is that the wording meets together, the both under bust meets together. Can you see the way I'm stitching it down? So this is how to go about stitching your wording on your bustier. Okay, so this is how you pull it gradually and make sure you get to the end of the fabric. Can you see? So this is really easy. Okay, so guys, this is what it looks like. All right, so this is what you're meant to have. So the next thing we are going to do right now is to go ahead and iron these seams open. Okay, you want to open them out first, iron it properly. You want to open it out like this and then iron it. So I will iron it and then keep this aside. Now this is for the side, the back pattern. Now the difference between the back pattern joining and the front pattern joining is that you want to make sure that you start these two side starts from the same edge. They meet each other from the beginning. Okay, because there's no wording on this, so this is how to attach the other side. So this is what I'm doing for the other center back as well. So guys, I've gone ahead now to iron out our bustier and as well attach a shiny bias to it. This is the design I want to attach on it. Okay, now can you see? So this is what the bustier looks like. So let me just flip this over. Let me just turn it for us to see it properly. Now can you see how it's standing? And then this is what it looks like. Okay, so this is very easy and all. So I went ahead after ironing it, I padded it with stay to avoid it moving away. Now I have a detailed tutorial on how to iron out your bustier and what is required of you to use to iron your bustier. I'll also be leaving that video on the description box below. Please do well to check out on that so that you know how to iron out your bustier to be on a safer side and how to pad it as well. Okay, so that is just, it's really easy to do. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So this is what I have after attaching my bias and all of that. You can see the stitches of the bias on it. So that is it for it. So this is what it looks like at the front. as well. So this is what you're expecting to see when you attach your 6 pieces. Okay, now I also went ahead to iron out our back pattern. You remember we saw how we joined the back pattern, so I went ahead to join the back pattern as well as join the lining and all the interfacing. Now this is for the back pattern. I ironed the seams open as well. Now this is what the back pattern looks like. Okay, and I iron the seams open. Now this is for the front. I also went ahead to join the pattern for the front as well. So this is what the front pattern looks like. Can you see? Now I also iron the seams open. Now this is what the lining looks like. So the lining on its own self is also standing, like you can see how visible the bustier is. Can you see? This is how visible the bustier is. All right, so we'll move next to the next step now. So we're going to go ahead and trim out the excess that we had on the bustier at the front. Remember, when we're joining it, it wasn't equal from the tip, so we're going to go ahead and join it together like this and then trim out this excess. Like I said before, do not worry, this is what it means. So we're going to go ahead and attach the lining on the main fabric. Now we're going to first of all sew the down part. Remember, when we're cutting, the lining is not this equal with the fabric. Okay, so after attaching the front, we'll pull it over to the neck, join the side, all right, and join the both sides. So remember, you're to sew the down part first. Now this is the back pieces. We're meant to stitch on this down part first, stitch on it, and then I will stitch it round, stitch it down here, and then pull it to the neck. After stitching it down there, we will not drag the neck up to make it equal. Okay, so you stitch the down first. The next part you're meant to stitch is your neck, and then after stitching the neck, you now come and stitch the side. So I'll take this to the sewing machine now. I will stitch it together and then I will bring it back to show us what it looks like. Okay, so guys, I've gone ahead now to attach our lining to the main fabric and as well ironed it out. So this is what it looks like. Okay, can you see? Now you can see that the edges of the line of the fabric is showing down here. This is because the lining was shorter than the fabric, and then from the armhole I pulled it out. So it's from the armhole that I turned it out from. Okay, and as well ironed it out properly. So you want to always make sure you iron out. So guys, the next thing we're going to do right now is to work on joining of the fabric. But before that, you can see that I've also gone ahead to attach my zipper to my cloth, and then this is what it looks like. So we'll go ahead now, pick the front side facing front. That is the front side, the front pieces and the back pieces, each facing each other. And then we're going to go ahead and join our shoulder. Now we're going to be doing an invisible shoulder for this. Okay, now this is very easy, so just pay attention here. You understand how to do this. Now pick the two fabrics together like this. You want to make sure that the tip meets each other at this point, like so. And then when you miss each other, then you flip the lining to the other side to meet the second lining. Can you see what I did here? So just pay attention here and you understand. So you want to make sure you arrange it properly, the fabric facing fabric and lining to lining. Can you see? Now we'll pin this down so that we know where we are made to stitch on. Okay, so after pinning this down now, guys, this is what we are meant to see. Can you see? Now this is an invisible shoulder stitch that we just did here. So this is what you are expected to see after stitching your shoulders together. Okay, can you see? All right, so we're meant to stitch on that shoulder. All right, and then do the same thing for this other shoulder as well. All right, after stitching here, we'll do the same thing for this other shoulder, and then I'll go ahead and use my body measurement to close up the blouse, and then I'll bring it back for us to see. So I'll be closing it up. So you want to go ahead and use your own body measurement to close it up here, all right, and close this other side. So I will go and take it now and then bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead now to join our shoulder. Can you see what it looks like? So this is what the invisible shoulder looks like. All right, and then this is what our blouse looks like. So I've gone ahead to close it up with my measurement, and then I ironed it open. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now this blouse is actually turning out fine. I won't even lie to you. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So we'll keep this aside now. then to work on our sleeve. But before that, we're going to measure our round sleeve to see if we have 9 inches. Now the round sleeve that I'm working with is 9 inches. Okay, so we'll measure this sleeve round to get the sleeve circumference. Now after measuring it round, this now gave us 8 inches. Now the length we're looking for is 9 inches, so we're going to go ahead and adjust this to the accurate sleeve measurement we're working with. But we're going to be placing it together so that we don't have the other one bigger than the other. So we'll place it on top of it like this, and then just pay attention to how I'm going to be adjusting my sleeve. Can you see where I placed the chalk from? So I will go ahead now and trim this out. So after trimming it out, this is what we have now. So we have the sleeve. So this is the fabric we're going to be using for the sleeve, all right? Okay, now this is a puff sleeve that we're going to be working with, and then the length of the wideness of this sleeve, I have it to be 22 inches. Now I want my sleeve to be very full because I'm not going to be attaching a lining to it. So you can do 10, you can just do anyhow you want your sleeve to be. Now the length of the sleeve is 45 because I did not cut out any tip. You can see the 2 tips together. So we'll fold this down together like this. Can you see how I'm folding it? So after folding it like this now, so can you see? So this is the 2 sleeves together. Do not forget that we have the 2 sleeves together. Okay, so I'll turn this over now. Okay, still just to see, confirm that the length of the sleeve we have today, the length of the sleeve I'm working with is 22 inches. Can you see? Now this is the 22 inches that we're working with. Just pay attention to the 22 inches. Okay, so from this now, the actual length I'm working with is 20. Then I added extra 2 inches allowance to it for the folding. So you want to fold this like this because we are going to be attaching a band to this one. We're going to be attaching an elastic band to it. Okay, now for us to achieve our sleeve, this is the easiest way to achieve your puff sleeve, in case if you're not doing the normal detachable one. So we'll come out here by the 9 inches, which is our round sleeve measurement. Just draw a straight line down here. Okay, this is the 9 inches. Now I'm going to be adding extra inches to it. Okay, now this is the 9 inches. Okay, this is where we're going to be covering it from. Now depending on the length of the sleeve you want to work with, how full you want it to work with, okay, how full you want it rather. Okay, so from this 9 inches, I will go ahead and add extra 10 inches. Now this is totally optional. Like I said before, I want this sleeve to be extremely full, so I'll mark it here. Now from where I've added that extra inches, I'll come down by 5 inches, which is my bicep measurement. Now if you don't know how to get your basic sleeve, I also have that on the tutorial. You want to check it out. So we're going to now go ahead and cover the sleeve cap like this. So this is how we're going to curve it and extend it all the way to where that 9 inches stopped. Can you see? And then from here, we'll now give it like an X curve to this point where we have our biceps. Can you see? So this is how to achieve your puff sleeve, because we're going to be pleating on this sleeve. So we're going to go ahead now and just draw a straight line like this, and then we'll cut the sleeve out. Okay. So guys, I've gone ahead now to cut out this sleeve. So we're going to be separating the 2 sleeves from each other. Okay, now we're going to fold the hem. We're going to hem this part where we're going to be attaching an elastic band. So you want to sew it, place it up like this, and then you fold it in by 1/4 of an inch and then close it up like this, and then take it, stitch it all the way like this to the full length. Can you see how I'm placing it? Can you see what I'm doing here? So that is how you're meant to be folding when you're attaching yours, when you are sewing on it. Okay, so I'll take this now, sew it round, and I'll bring it back. Okay, so guys, I've gone ahead now to sew our sleeve, the hem part. Can you see what it looks like? So this is what it actually looks like from this end. Okay, all right, so we are going to be attaching an elastic band to this, and then this is the band. All right, so how I got this band is that I measured where my sleeve is going to stop. So for my elbow here, my sleeve is going to be stopping at the elbow. I have it to be 10 inches, but I will add extra 1/2 inch allowance to it so that by the time I fist my hand, is not going to be too tight. Okay, so I went ahead to use that measurement to cut out on the band. Now this band has to be 21 inches. Can you see? So I have it to be 21 inches. So we're going to go ahead and divide this band into two for both hands. So one band is going to be for the other one, and the second one is going to be for the other hand. So join it together like this, and then we'll go ahead and separate it out. Just cut it out into two, like so. Now after cutting it into two, we're going to use this septum pin to pass it through. You add it, put it on the septum pin, and then we're going to pass it through the inches that we hem at the tip of the sleeve. Can you see how I'm doing it? So I'll pass it through all the way like this. Okay, so this is the easiest way to achieve your puff sleeve with an elastic band. So I will make sure that I don't pull this out. So by the time at this end here, I'm going to use a pin to pin the elastic down so that I can be able to pass it through to the other end. That is all I'm doing here. Okay, so we'll pin this down now. After pinning it down, we'll just drag it all the way. Okay, so this is how to achieve it. So guys, I've pulled it out, and then we'll go ahead now and pin it together. Then use 1 inch to close it up, starting from this point here, from this point from here. After arranging it properly, we'll go ahead and close it with 1 inch to the full length. So I'll take it now and do the same thing for this one. So guys, I've gone ahead now to work on our sleeve, and then I've closed it up with 1 inch, and then this is what it looks like. Can you see how full my sleeve looks like? So this is how it is. In case if you don't want your sleeve to be full like this, all you just have to do is reduce your measurements. Okay, if you don't want it to be full like this, you just go ahead and reduce your measurements, and this is what the second one looks like as well. Okay, so we'll bring our blouse now. All right, we'll bring our blouse, open it up like this. Okay, now you want to give your sleeve a notch to divide it into two and give it a notch so that you know where to place it from. All right, so I'll open up my sleeve like this. Can you see what I'm doing here? Just pay attention and you understand. Now first of all, start the pleating with the right side facing each other from the main elbow here. Okay, we'll place it on top of it like this, and then we'll pleat it all around to where we get the full length of the sleeve. So I'll take this now and sew it round, do the same thing for the second sleeve, and then I'll bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead now to attach our sleeve on the main blouse. Can you see what this blouse looks like? This is actually a mini blouse. I made it to look a kind of a crop top kind of 6 pieces blouse so that I can use it to rock my jean. All right, so this is it, and then this is our back zip. It can be opened up. This is what it looks like. So this is what our blouse looks like, and then the only thing left is for you to either use your bias to turn this in or you weave it. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for watching. We have come to the end of this tutorial. So this is how to achieve your 6 pieces bustier blouse with a back princess dart. Can you see how our back princess dart looks like? Okay, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to click on the subscribe button. Please guys, if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, what are you waiting for? Please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell, always leave a comment, and please help me to share this video so that it will get to whoever that might find it interesting. And then please do not forget to go green. Okay, do not forget to go green. Thank you so much for watching. See you on my next tutorial. Bye for now.